It's Monday, May 13th. Here are some of the stories we've been working on from the newsroom for tonight's 6 o'clock news.
This was certainly a busy weekend for us. Certainly a large number of fires happening in a short period of time.
Kennewick fire crews did have a busy weekend, from vehicles to homes catching on fire. We're tracking the latest. Also,
it's men and it's women, it's teenagers, it's older people. We're really not seeing, one way or another.
Washington state traffic deaths reach a 33-year high. Monique Ledesma is looking into the reasons why. Plus, what happens when you have multiple candidates with the same name running for governor?
And yet, if something doesn't happen today, Washington voters will have a 1 out of 3 chance to vote for the real Bob Cruz.
Tonight, we're looking into the Bob Ferguson name debate. In more local news and new at 6, our Emily Goodell was in Cle Elum today, where Washington State's Ag Deputy Secretary made a special visit. And it was a hot weekend. Will that be the story as we're starting a new week? Caden and Nick's back in for Stacy, and he'll have your first alert weather forecast as the news begins now.
This is Apple Valley News Now at 6 on your side.
Good to see everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm Austin Reed.
And I'm Alyssa Warner. We begin tonight with the Deputy Secretary of the USDA announcing an investment of more than $154 million to conserve 168,000 acres of private forest lands all across the country.
Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell tells us one of the 26 projects focuses on Cle Elum Ridge in Kittitas County.
This project will expand on the work that local agencies have been doing for years to protect areas of Cle Elum Ridge from being turned into vacation homes and resorts. When people started buying up land for residential developments, the Nature Conservancy and Central Cascades Forest LLC stepped up to protect 9,700 acres of land on Cle Elum Ridge, adjacent to the Teanaway Community Forest. Now, the state finally has the money to buy that land.
The total funding is $15.3 million. Investments from President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, as well as the Land and Water Conservation Fund.
Plus $5.7 million in state matching funds.
An investment like this also helps protect as there are development pressures, making sure that this true resource gets to stay in this community for generations to come.
The money also earmarked for conservation efforts.
Working closely in collaboration with the Nature Conservancy, as well as Yakima Nation, and of course the Department of Natural Resources here in Washington State.
Making areas at risk for catastrophic wildfire more resilient.
By managing these forests, thinning them, bringing out the underbrush, doing prescribed fire, we not only preserve the forest, we preserve all of the ecosystems. Those trees cool the water, and if we lose the trees, we lose habitat for endangered species. So it all comes together.
We have more information about that project on our website, applevalleynewsnow.com. Reporting in Cle Elum, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
And coming up tomorrow, the Deputy Secretary of the USDA is set to visit Yakima, where she is expected to talk about how the Biden administration is working on creating new markets for renewable wood energy and some of the related products.
Time to talk about our forecast now, whether you're in Cle Elum or Hermiston. It is a new week, and it was hot this weekend.
Unusually hot this weekend. And meteorologist Hayden Nix joins us now. Hayden, what's going on out there?
Well, it certainly was warm this weekend. Then we just tacked on the windy weather for the start of the week. So we've got a good combo of two things happening here. Let's talk about the wind speeds first and foremost here this evening. We've got sustained wind speeds, especially from Hanford back west towards Cascades there, anywhere between 20 and 30 miles per hour. Tri-City's very light right now, especially in Walla Walla too, right just barely above into the double digits there. But we are going to continue to see these winds staying elevated this evening, and we're going to watch that closely over the next several hours here as we see the wind advisory in effect, especially for the Kittitas Valley, and we'll watch that with the gust up to around 50 miles per hour. Now, we will have warmer weather. Winds will die down. We're going to talk more about all that in just a little bit.
Hayden, thank you so much, filling in for Stacy tonight. Well, traffic deaths reached a 33-year high across Washington state in the year 2023. New at 6, Apple Valley News Now's Monique Ledesma spoke to State Patrol about what's driving that increase.
Washington State Patrol says in 2023, there have been 810 traffic deaths. That's a 10% increase over 2022. Trooper Chris Thorson says most of those deadly crashes could have been prevented.
We know what causes most of these collisions. Approximately 50% of these collisions are caused by a driver who's impaired by alcohol and or drugs. The other key factors are speeding and driving distracted and people not wearing their seatbelts. Those four account for 75% of all traffic deaths across Washington state.
Thorson also says if you're going to drive distracted, to be ready to pay the price. Fines start at more than $100 just for holding a wireless device. If you get a second ticket within 5 years, the penalty goes up, and State Patrol will make a report to your insurance company.
People just choose not to follow the law. I don't know what the reasoning is, but be aware that we're looking for these violations, and if you get stopped and you're using your cell phone, we're going to issue a citation for that because we know it leads to collisions and it leads to traffic deaths.
Trooper Thorson says that when it comes to trying to avoid driving distracted, that to turn down your cell phone volume, turn it off, and put it somewhere you can't reach. Cell phones are a main source of distracted driving, but they're not the only ones that could leave you facing a ticket.
Also, don't do any grooming or eating or be distracted by your passengers. Those are a few tips not to drive distracted.
When it comes to driving distracted, Thorson says it's not a specific group of people doing it. It's all genders and ages. Reporting in Kennewick, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
All right, good reminders, Monique. Thank you for that. And it's not just distracted driving. It's also important to make sure if you're planning to drink or use marijuana that you make a plan to get home safely.
Well, take a look at this. A Chinese company has rolled out an electric car they're calling the Seagull. In China, it sells for about $11,000. That is about a third of the price of a basic electric vehicle in the U.S.
The challenge right now, how do I make an EV that functions, one that meets all its requirements? It's safe, it performs, it's reliable, all the things that we want in our products. And the bigger question now, how do I do it profitably? It seems to be there's a solution right here that we can study and ought to be studying to exhaustion to really understand what can we do.
Now, you can't get the Seagull in the U.S. right now, and there are a couple of things that might slow these cars down from getting to roads here in the U.S. First, a lot of the tax breaks that are intended to make electric cars more affordable, they don't apply to foreign cars. Second, there's already a 27% tariff or import tax on Chinese vehicles. The Biden administration is reportedly planning to quadruple that on electric vehicles, specifically with that announcement expected this week.
Right now, AAA reporting the average price of a gallon of regular gas in Washington, $4.64. That is more than a double above the national average. In Yakima and the Tri-Cities, drivers can expect to pay a bit less, and those prices have been holding relatively steady. Today, Governor Inslee got an update on the Climate Commitment Act, which some opponents blame for contributing to higher gas prices. The Climate Commitment Act requires large companies to either cut their carbon emissions or pay for carbon credits sold at an auction. Governor Inslee said today he wants to make sure people remember the original goal of the law.
The fundamental purpose of this Climate Commitment Act is to reduce pollution, because it is pollution that is getting into our kids' lungs and causing asthma. It is pollution that is contributing to climate change. It is pollution that is accelerating the rates of forest fires that are clogging our kids' lungs. And the reason I say that is I think because this has an investment component to the plan, the fact that it has a cap, the fact that it has a limit, the fact that it has a restriction on the amount of pollution has been largely forgotten by a lot of folks.
A push to repeal the law is expected on ballots statewide coming up in November. Initiative 2117 would repeal the law and stop state agencies from creating carbon tax credit rules in the future.
Well, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission voted in favor of a new rule expected to bring some significant reforms to our nation's electrical grid. Now, the new rule aims to make it easier to build regional electrical transmissions. This is important because we really can't make the switch to renewable energy or to relying more on electricity for things like driving cars with the grid the way it is now. Now, without this sort of action, that nation would not be able to handle the increased demand.
Well, the Yakima Police Department wants you to be aware of a scam involving children that has been circulating on social media. Authorities say a social media post like this one has been popping up on community pages. The post says a child has been found and is at the police station, and no one has claimed him. Officials say this has been investigated and it has zero credibility. It's not real, and if people are asking for money with posts like this, they should be ignored. Okay, still ahead here on your news at 6. Will we see temps in the 90s again this week? Hayden is tracking your new work week weather forecast.
And also ahead, Washington State Patrol celebrating its first class of lateral troopers. Today we're going to talk about that, what that means, coming up.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W. KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
Vegas action is closer than you think. The fun is waiting for you at Nob Hill Casino. Come in and pull up a chair at your choice of blackjack, pie gow, heads up hold'em, or high card flush, and play with the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club to take your game to the next level and earn rewards for food, bowling, prizes, and cash. There's always a spot for you at Nob Hill Casino, where the locals play.
When it comes to legal matters, you need someone you can trust. At Morphine Law Firm, we are sincerely grateful for the last 5 years of trust and support you've given our firm. Your trust and support have been a major driving force behind our mission for justice. We offer free consultations, and we may not always tell you what you want to hear, but we try to steer you in the right direction. We appreciate your continued trust and confidence in Morphine Law Firm.
STCU and Apple Valley News Now continue to honor volunteers by sharing their stories and awarding their charities $1,000 each. If you know someone in Benton and Franklin counties who's making a difference and taking that extra step to make our communities better, please tell us about them today. Just click on Volunteers Count on the Contest tab at applevalleynewsnow.com for the STCU Volunteers Count nomination form. Volunteers Count from STCU and Apple Valley News Now.
Why is my internet slow?
There's only 16 devices connected.
I'm so over this. My cable internet bill just increased again.
My upload speed is so bad, I can't even run a stream without buffering.
Defeat cable lag. Switch to Ziply Fiber, America's fastest home internet. 25 times faster uploads. $65 less a month than cable. Ziply Fiber. Call 1-888-GO-ZIPLY or visit ziplyfiber.com/GoZiply. How long do I have to wait?
Watch Thursday at 9 on Apple Valley News Now. Sponsored locally by Prosser Memorial Health, your 5-star rated hospital. This is how we care.
Stop thinking, let things happen, and be the ball. Better yet, see the ball with K2 Vision RLE. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Visit Cougar Bay Preserve on Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
Welcome back. We've been talking about inflations and the concerns now that people are about to stop spending. That's a trend that's already showing up in the fast food market.
Yeah, Rhiannon Alley reports we are seeing a push for more value meal options as customers say they can't afford to keep up with these high prices.
This morning, fast food fans reacting to word that McDonald's is planning to add a $5 value meal to its menu as it responds to a drop in sales. Inflation taking a toll, the chain getting grilled by customers amid reports of a Big Mac value meal approaching $18 in parts of the country.
A big share of McDonald's clients are low-income consumers. And so those people, low-income consumers, are really feeling the pinch right now. And maybe they are not necessarily eating at restaurants. Maybe they're just eating at home.
The Golden Arches now looking to better compete with Wendy's $5 Biggie Meal and Burger King's 2 for $5 option. Fast food prices in March were 33% higher than in 2019, and labor costs are surging.
I used to eat McDonald's a lot on the job sites. It's quick and easy and cheap, but not really anymore. It's not that cheap anymore. So I'm not really saving the money I thought I would by going to McDonald's or any sort of fast food.
Casual restaurant chains like Red Lobster also seeing red, now considering bankruptcy, while Applebee's and Chili's offer bargain burgers and other discounts. Even small-town kitchens are feeling the heat. Des Moines, Iowa, seeing several restaurants close their doors, citing higher costs, as well as COVID-era loans coming due. As for those fast food fanatics, they have this simple message.
I'm a fast food girl through and through, but please lower your prices. So you can't go up any further. You can't.
And that was Rhiannon Alley with the story. McDonald's has not commented on the potential $5 meal. Local franchises would be part of the pricing conversation before a menu change.
Well, developing news tonight, wildfires are burning once again in Western Canada. You'll remember the Canadian wildfires last year left parts of the U.S. struggling to deal with overwhelming smoke. These fires in British Columbia and Alberta are between 500 and 700 miles north of the border, but smoke is prompting an air quality alert for the entire state of Minnesota. Now, most of that smoke is sweeping down east of the Rockies, but we will be keeping a close eye on it because we've seen things can change very quickly when it comes to these fires.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Hayden Nix.
Well, I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, and definitely we're staying cool. We had temperatures clocking in into the upper 80s and lower 90s. Check out the high temperatures from Mother's Day itself. That wasn't even the hottest day of the weekend. We had even reports of 92 degrees in the Tri-Cities, but we rebounded back at 90 degrees again. 90 at Tri-Cities, 89 in Hermiston, 87 in Hanford, 86 in Ellensburg for Mother's Day itself. And today was also warm once more, but not quite as hot as what we felt this weekend. But definitely, this is going to be a theme going on in our forecast as we continue on this week here with a big ridge of high pressure that is going to play that role once more. So here's your temperatures on this Monday afternoon into the evening hours, upper 70s to lower 80s across many locations from Pendleton back northwestward towards Hanford. Ellensburg is now at 69, Yakima at 79 degrees. There's a big troublemaker that's coming back. So we had the big ridge of high pressure from this weekend kind of retrograde back. Now we're going to see it moving back once more into the Pacific Northwest. This is going to help get rid of the upper air disturbance that's caused a little bit of some windy weather for today, which we'll talk more about in just a minute. But as it continues to expand back off towards the United States, we're going to see those temperatures warming close to where we had been feeling this weekend by the middle of the week. So keep that in mind as you're planning the rest of this week. Let's talk about the wind though, because I did mention that the upper air disturbance that's currently giving us all of the wind movement today is still going to be troublesome for this evening. You can see exactly where that's happening in the Kittitas Valley there from Ellensburg back off towards the southeast there with those a little bit more of that orange and red showing where the elevated wind speeds are located. So just a heads up, we do have a wind advisory through 11 p.m. there for those wind gusts that could get up to 50 miles per hour. Outside of this area, I really think wind gusts will be more maxed out at 30 miles per hour or less, hence the reason not seeing those wind advisories setting up there. But as we continue on this evening, just something to show you here as we go to 10 o'clock. Notice how the overall wind conditions do start to settle down, and we head towards 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. really more tame. Still slightly elevated, but not too bad. And as we go throughout the day, these will be in better control. You can see the winds picking right back up off the Cascades there once more, and that will be more highlighted from Hanford back westward towards Ellensburg, with those wind gusts around 20 to 30 miles per hour tomorrow, but under the wind advisory criteria. Another big talker I want to bring up, Friday evening was a really spectacular event across the entire United States. We had even aurora pictures coming in from New Orleans, Louisiana, which is very uncommon. The last time that happened was 30 years ago, back in October of 2003. That's how significant that setup was. But since it's something that's still talked about here, the corona mass ejection that's happening on the sun right now is not quite as strong as it was, but there's still a possibility of seeing some of the northern lights. You could see that kind of cutoff line is very close to us, so just something to be advised there. It's better off towards the north, but if you want to try to see it with a long exposure camera, best times to see that will be from 10 to 2 a.m. for tonight. Speaking of which, it will be cool out there with those temperatures in the 40s and the 50s. Tomorrow, rebounding back into the 80s area-wide with some 70s in there too. 7-day forecast shows warm weather Wednesday and Thursday for the Tri-Cities and Yakima, Walla Walla and Hermiston the same way, but we will be trending cooler as we head towards next weekend.
Thanks, Hayden. And up next on Apple Valley News Now, what happens when 2 additional candidates, both named Bob Ferguson, file to run for governor?
Well, the debate is on, and we will have that story within the next 10 minutes.
This Memorial Day at Furniture Row, we're prepping for savings so big, they're backing them in by the truckload. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out doorbusters while they last. Plus 6 years, no interest. The Memorial Day Super Sale, on now at Furniture Row.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Apple Valley Eats.
All right, so my job here is the food and beverage executive chef. I've been here 10 years. Started off here as an entry-level cook. I was given the opportunity to step into the executive chef role, which is the position that I'm in. I've been in that position for about 6 years now, almost. What I do here, I handle not so much the day-to-day operations, but everything that goes into the menu planning, the SOPs for all of the cooks, recipes, ensuring all the recipes are all the same, the consistency, the vision of the food and beverage department as far as the aesthetics, what is it going to look like, what does the food preparation look like. We have everything from catering, fast food, employee meals, which is a cafeteria style setting, and then obviously our bread and butter, what we do, a buffet here at Legends. What we like to do here is try to keep our team members happy, try to be versatile with them, try to be flexible, whatever needs that they may have. We try to accommodate. We do have childcare here on property, so if somebody needs to drop their kids off at childcare, that option's always there. You could come into our department with no experience at all, but we're gonna show you how to hold a knife, we're gonna show you how to cut vegetables, we're gonna show you how to cut meat, we're gonna show you how to use all the equipment. Is the comfort of knowing that I'm gonna have my consistent 40 hours a week. And that goes from everywhere from a dishwasher all the way up to my position. It's another benefit of working here at Legends. I like to think of it more as a career rather than a job.
Drugs like Ozempic. So many people are using them or want to use them. If you're on these drugs, what should you eat to get the protein you need? How can they help with your heart health? And what's the best plan after hitting your goal weight? This week, GMA with the science behind it all for you.
Whether you're looking for your next houseplant, getting those spring flowers in the ground, or planting your dream garden landscape, Queensgate Gardens is the place to go. Queensgate Gardens in Richland. Let's grow together.
Oh my gosh, wow. Who am I?
Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shell clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms. Take action with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. Try it today for only $14.95, plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
It's the Memorial Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or check out the Summit for only $299.99, plus 6 years no interest and free shipping. The Memorial Day Super Sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Welcome back. Today, the Washington State Patrol celebrated its first class of lateral troopers. The 9 new troopers were commissioned in the state capitol building in Olympia this afternoon. Each of those new troopers had previously served in law enforcement at federal, local, and in other states. Having a lateral class meant that they could go through a more focused training and get out into the field faster. State Patrol says the next lateral class will begin in 2025. Coming up new at 6:30 tonight, multiple fires break out in Kennewick over the weekend. We're going to explain why firefighters are asking people to be cautious of downed power lines. That's still ahead.
Jessica Jalor, Good Morning Northwest. Weekday mornings from 5 to 7.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
Why do you Goodwill? Well, there are countless reasons.
I come for the thrill of a deal, and I never miss out on the 50% off tag.
I like to hunt the bins for hidden gems.
Goodwill lets you define your style with unique gifts and treasures around every corner.
And giving back to your community just feels wonderful.
With hundreds of reasons to shop at Goodwill, you can feel great about knowing 95.7 cents of every dollar you spend helps your community. Goodwill. Donate, shop, impact locally.
Dishwasher on the fritz. Laundry. Giving you fits. A water heater that quits. In a world without Culligan, hard water makes life harder. Get a Culligan softener, the world's best. Put your water worries to rest.
What makes me strong?
Every shot I take.
Every paddle I pull.
Every delicious bite.
Every good long laugh.
Every story about our ancestors.
My family, my community, my tribe.
Our connection, that's our strength.
We use our strength to support each other. If you or someone else is struggling with mental health or thinking about suicide, call or text for help. That is a sign of strength we share.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to experience the clairvoyance. Friday, June 21st, Legends Casino Hotel Toppenish, featuring never-before-seen mental magic and spectacular illusions, with a special appearance by Mr. Coney Hondini, the world's first mind-reading dog. Friday, June 21st, 8 p.m., Legends Casino Hotel Toppenish. Tickets at Ticketmaster and Legends Casino Gift Shop. Experience the clairvoyance live.
Make your first move with battery power made by Steel. Right now, save $50 on the KMA 80R Combi motor or the HSA 50 hedge trimmer. Real Steel.
And now a joke from Yolk's Fresh Market.
What do you call chips that aren't yours? Nacho chips.
Hi, this is Paul Wood at Woods Nursery. These are our arborvitaes for this season. We're running a special on them. They're 67 footers. They're $89.95 while they last. We've got fountains too, over 60 of them to choose from. Flowering trees. We have 5 acres of nursery stock. It's absolutely full this year. And we'd love to see you come out and join us. And we appreciate your business with over 50 years of Woods Nursery.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99, Wednesdays only at KFC.
Welcome back. In Kennewick last night, fire crews spent more than 4 hours putting out a blaze at Columbia Point Park. It happened just off of the Edison exit and Highway 240. The fire was called in just after 10:30. Kennewick fire crews, along with Benton County fire crews, put out this blaze. At this time, the cause of the fire has not been released. Now, the fire at Columbia Point isn't the only blaze that broke out this past weekend in Kennewick.
Yeah, now at 6:30, why firefighters are reminding people about the dangers of downed power lines. Plus, it's a new week and Hayden Nix is tracking your first alert forecast.
And we are keeping a very close eye on wildfire smoke from northern Canada having an impact on air quality right here in the U.S. Your news at 6:30 begins now.
This is Apple Valley News Now at 6:30 on your side.
A 71-year-old man is dead after Yakima police say he was shot during a dispute with a neighbor outside a home in the 1400 block of Cherry Avenue.
Yeah, the 27-year-old neighbor reportedly told officers the man came to the property and made threats with a firearm. Police said, quote, the shooter indicated he was protecting his family when deciding to fire, end quote. They also say his story was corroborated by witness statements and video evidence.
In addition to the physical evidence found at the scene, we consulted with the Yakima County Prosecutor's Office, and it was determined, and we concur, that we don't believe we have enough evidence to support a charge at this point.
Now, police say the investigation will continue as they await a charging decision by Yakima County Prosecuting Attorney Joe Brusick.
Kennewick fire crews had a busier than normal weekend after multiple fires broke out, but new at 6:30, the call to action from firefighters about downed power lines. On Sunday night around 6 p.m., fire crews responded to the 2500 block of West Clearwater for a reported detached garage on fire. One 911 caller even said they heard explosions inside.
Thankfully confined to just the garage, didn't impact the home.
As firefighters began deploying hose lines around the house to that detached garage, they discovered that a power line had fallen across the backyard. Because this energized power line was blocking access to the garage, Benton PUD was requested, and they quickly de-energized the power line. No one was hurt.
It looks like there was someone burning weeds in the backyard. We're not sure that that fire, that the burning of the weeds caused the fire, but it is possible that it was a factor that contributed to it.
Another fire broke out shortly after the Clearwater blaze. KFD says they were called to this vehicle fire in front of a house on 2nd Street. Several parked cars were actually burning along the carport side of this house. KFD crews even deployed their deck gun, a fixed water turret on the top of the fire engine, which quickly doused the flames in a total of 4 vehicles that were burning. No one was hurt. Tonight, the Kennewick Fire Department and the Benton Public Utility District, though, is urging the community to be cautious around those downed power lines.
When there are above-ground power lines that may be dropping down to an individual residence, they're coming from a power pole usually that's in a neighborhood that may be running power to multiple homes. They may still be energized, so really want to make sure that the public's aware. Folks may take certain actions during a fire, trying to move cars or other combustible materials away from a fire. If folks are taking that level of risk, we want them to understand that there is another risk that they need to be aware of as they're operating around that fire, to be aware of overhead power lines that may be at risk for dropping to the ground.
Now, there were a few more fires around our region this past weekend, and we have more details about those on our website, applevalley.newsnow.com. All right.
We were talking about the Lineage fire that also happened in Kennewick. Austin, I was driving out to Dayton this weekend over on Highway 12, and you could still see the smoke from this. It's still very much on fire. And then we were hearing from Benton County Fire District 1 that that's going to continue for quite a while. It's the same thing we've been telling folks, that the fire is deep inside that factory, and they really can't get to it in a way that they need to in order to completely put it out. So we're kind of stuck just with that smoke continuing to roll across the region. So if you're seeing smoke as you're driving to and from Walla Walla, for example, that's where a lot of it is still coming from.
All right. I think it's time to talk about our weather now. And it was warm this past weekend.
It was, and very clear, so you could see all of the smoke that was out there. Meteorologist Hayden Nix joins us now with your first alert forecast.
Yeah, and the wind's definitely not helping with the fires either. We've had them pick back up today. We've had the heat from this weekend. Now we're tacking on the wind for the start of the work week here. And we're going to see the wind, though, thank goodness, not last much longer here. But sustained winds are holding between 20 and 30 miles per hour from Hanford back towards Ellensburg, up towards Moses Lake and Yakima, but Tri-City's holding right now at 11 miles per hour sustained. That was the last report that came in during the hourly observations that are at the top of each hour. Wind gusts are also peaking anywhere between 20 and 30 miles per hour. Ellensburg did have one near 40 miles per hour that has settled down here in just the last 30 minutes or so, but we could still see some gusts up to 50 miles per hour through 11 o'clock tonight, hence the wind advisory for that area and the Kittitas Valley. So just be advised if you live in that area, that will remain in effect for another few hours. Temperatures today have been quite warm, but not to the extent that we had this weekend, but more warm weather is coming this week. We'll talk about how warm we could be getting, if it could be on par with Mother's Day weekend, in just a little bit.
Thanks, Hayden. Now, it's not the sign of summer that we like to see. Wildfire smoke once again prompting air quality concerns east of the Rockies. This is because of fast-growing fires in Canada. ABC's Tim Pulliam explains.
Right now, Western Canada is on fire.
Season started again.
An eyewitness capturing this wall of flames marching across this highway in the western province of Alberta. These satellite images show the widespread damage, which officials estimating more than 100 wildfires are ravaging the region, with dozens of them considered out of control, including one in British Columbia, scorching thousands of acres and forcing thousands of people to evacuate.
With no precipitation, no major precipitation in the forecast ahead, and winds that can pick up at any time, let's just say we are extremely concerned.
The toxic smoke now billowing south across the border into the U.S., drifting into the upper Midwest and western Great Lakes. Weather maps show the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and parts of Michigan are all impacted. Look at these aerials showing a smoky haze in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota today. Minnesota issuing its first air quality alert of 2024. Forecasters say the smoke could impact Nebraska and Iowa next. These latest wildfires are reminiscent of last summer's wildfires in Canada, where smoke reached as far south as Georgia, leaving New York City's skyline in an orange fog. And right now, officials are urging people in Minnesota to stay indoors. The smoke is expected to taper off, but more could reach Kansas and Oklahoma on Tuesday. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now, these fires are unusual because typically Northern Canada is very green, but they're dealing with multiple years of very dry weather that's increasing the fire risk.
This while the southeastern U.S. is dealing with too much water. More than 9 million people are under flood watches from the East Coast all the way to central Texas. They're seeing flooding that's similar to the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey in 2017. The storms just won't quit. We have seen tornadoes in the Midwest and the South every day for weeks, plus severe thunderstorms and extreme rain. That is expected to continue through this week.
Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson is running for governor, but on Friday, hours before the deadline, 2 additional candidates, both named Bob Ferguson, filed to run for governor as well. So in the governor's race, only the top 2 candidates advance past the August primary. That means it's not necessarily guaranteed to be 1 Democrat and 1 Republican. If there are 3 people with the same name on the ballot, that could make it easier to accidentally vote for someone you didn't mean to. Today, the Attorney General called that move an illegal scheme.
So I want to be very clear. This is not an attack on me. It's an attack on our election system. It's an attack on our democracy. It's an attack on the people of the state of Washington to have a clear choice and to know who they're voting for.
Now, since then, the 2 who filed to run for governor under the name Bob Ferguson withdrew from the race. That happened before today's 5 p.m. deadline, the Secretary of State has confirmed. Now, Attorney General Ferguson, who is currently serving as the Attorney General, will remain on the ballot. He's facing a field of 28 gubernatorial candidates. That'll be whittled down to 2 in the August primary.
Well, making national headlines tonight, former President Donald Trump's trial in New York continues with the jury hearing today from Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest.
Today, Michael Cohen, who previously said he would take a bullet for Donald Trump, took the stand against him, saying under oath the former president directed him to pay for multiple women's silence.
We paid a lawyer, a legal expense,
And we have a legal expense is a legal expense. It's marked down in the book, quote, legal expense.
Trump is charged with falsifying business records linked to the $130,000 Cohen paid porn actress Stormy Daniels days before the 2016 election. Prosecutors say the payment was to prevent voters from hearing Daniels' graphic story about an alleged 2006 affair. Trump denies all wrongdoing, including the alleged affair. The defense so far has claimed Trump wanted to kill the story to protect his family. Cohen's testimony today directly contradicts that, saying he wasn't thinking about Melania. This was all about the campaign. He claimed Trump called the Stormy Daniels situation a, quote, disaster for the campaign, adding Trump said, women will hate me. Cohen also testified about a catch-and-kill scheme set up with National Enquirer publisher David Pecker, where they agreed to publish positive stories about Trump and stop negative ones from coming out. Pecker himself testified about that 3 weeks ago. Jurors heard a conversation Cohen surreptitiously recorded between him and Trump in September 2016. It references one of those alleged catch-and-kills, a $150,000 hush money payment to Playboy model Karen McDougal by Pecker.
So what are we going to pay? Funding. Yes, when it comes time for the financing, which will be...
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you, so... No.
Some previous witnesses have taken swings at Cohen's reputation. Prosecutor Josh Steinglass conceded he has what you might consider to be some baggage. The defense calls Cohen obsessed, a convicted liar, and that he cannot be trusted. Jurors have seen more than 200 pieces of evidence so far. Cohen is the 20th witness to take the stand and is described as the linchpin in this case, if the jury believes him. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, New York.
Cohen has admitted to lying in the past, both to investigators and to Congress, but prosecutors are hoping that his testimony, along with everything else presented in court so far, will be enough to sway jurors.
Well, here in our region, we've gone from below average to above average temperatures for the time of year. Meteorologist Hayden Nix returns next with a look at just how warm this week is expected to stay.
Plus, we are bringing you a behind-the-scenes look at a beloved local tradition, the Walla Walla Balloon Stampede. We're back after this.
Smoke City for Less. We are open 7 days a week with now 5 locations.
You're gonna need a new bumper.
Did you say burger, guac, cheese, Santa Fe burger sauce, burger, jalapeno pepper, cheese, burger, spicy cheese, bacon, guac, cheese, bacon.
Big burger! Get burger.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider. So switch to Spectrum and get a powerful network that connects nearly 500 million devices.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with free modem, no data caps, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee when you level up to a gig. Call 1-855-735-1336 or scan to call.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming with the most reliable internet speeds. Get a powerful network that millions of customers rely on. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with 99.9% network reliability, no added taxes or hidden fees, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee. Call 1-855-735-1336.
Call now.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W. KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
These are real people seeking solutions to real problems.
I have plantar fasciitis.
Pain with my feet, my knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports.
I definitely feel the heel-to-toe walk.
I'm not feeling any pain, especially in my heel. That's where I always feel it.
I don't feel the knee pain. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
When working, take breaks, go for a walk, or just get up and move around, because taking care of your mental health is vitally important. More at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Mental health services at Prosser Memorial Health's
primary care clinics. Visit prosserhealth.org.
Take a trip high above Cougar Bay Preserve with wetlands, meadows, trails, and more.
Family-friendly trail, so very beginner. There are some steep inclines, but it's moderate. It's a great place.
Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
Chill or grill on a new deck from Par this season. Get a free Makita Bluetooth radio or portable pellet grill with a qualifying Par deck package purchase of wood, TimberTech, or Trex. Visit par.com for details. Par, go where the builders go.
What are you gonna build?
The El Diablo Burger is back at Carl's Jr. Habanero, jalapeno poppers, bacon. Give in to your devilish desires.
You don't have to tell me twice.
I figured El Diablo is back for eternity. Only at Carl's Jr.
Big burger! Good burger.
Welcome back. Typically, we get to see hot air balloons flying above Walla Walla for Mother's Day weekend. Didn't work out this year because of those breezy conditions.
But there is a lot happening on the ground to make sure those flights can happen. Apple Valley News Now's Riley Fitzgerald tagged along with a ground crew at the Balloon Stampede.
No, it's not a sole person sport. The pilot and one person cannot go out, put a hot air balloon up, fly, chase, and do it back. You actually need a group of people to get it done.
The process to following a hot air balloon is a lot more simple than it seems. Wait, follow, and try to get in front of them. I joined along for the setup, chase, and tear down with Lori Spencer's crew. Spencer is a hot air balloon pilot and the event organizer for the Walla Walla Balloon Stampede. She says she's always aware of what's going on under her basket when it comes to her ground crew.
Very aware. I look for it. It's distinctive. I know what it looks like. And particularly if you're in a congested urban area, I look for them and I say, where are you? They say, I'm at your 10 o'clock. So I know to look where they are in relationship to where I am.
And experience comes in handy. Her team in particular, they've been with her for years, traveling alongside her balloon, ready to set up when the weather is just right.
This group here, we don't talk much because we just know what has to be done and just go do it.
But it's not always a close-knit group who can read each other's minds. These events always need volunteers, even people who have never touched a hot air balloon basket in their lives.
They're helpful, they're eager to learn. Most of the time they're pretty good help. I mean, as you can tell, a lot of this is just physical labor. So it's just getting it done.
What I enjoy most about that is the magic that they get to feel with something that I'm lucky enough to do every day. When they haven't been able to be around balloon before, it's a whole experience, the size of it, of course, and then the magic that they see when it goes up in the air.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Hayden Nix.
It certainly was a wonderful weekend weather-wise here, and one thing I want to bring up were the temperatures. It was warm out there with the upper 80s and lower 90s that got locked in for Saturday and even on Sunday. These were the high temperatures for Mother's Day itself. Tri-Cities making it to 90 degrees for the second time. 92 was the high on Saturday. Not quite as warm on Sunday, but definitely well above normal. We should only be averaging around 75 degrees for high by the afternoon. You can see we were well above that in many locations. 84 in Hanford yesterday, 86 in Ellensburg, 84 in Walla Walla to 86 in Pendleton, 89 in Hermiston. Now today it was still warm, above normal, but not to the degree it was yesterday. We peaked out in the lower 80s to upper 70s, but now as we continue into the evening hours, things are starting to cool down a few degrees here. We've got some 60s collecting on the map as well. But we just had a brief cool down. The ridge of high pressure that was here over the weekend will be retrograding back to the Pacific and then turning and going back into the Pacific Northwest. This is going to allow for us to see an increase in our temperatures once again as we see this ridge building in. We're also going to see more sunshine and yes, drier conditions establishing itself, and that will be a playing role all the way through the end of this week before we start to have cooler temperatures coming back in as that ridge breaks down. Another thing that the ridge is going to get rid of is this quick little upper air disturbance that is moving through as we speak. That's giving way to some pretty hefty wind speeds here, where right now we're looking at sustained winds anywhere between 10 and 30 miles per hour, depending on where you are. You got 33 in Prosser, 31 in Hanford, and then 30 in Toppenish. But even in the Kittitas Valley, we're seeing a wind advisory that's in effect until 11 p.m. because we've seen continuous this afternoon wind gusts averaging around 30 to 40 miles per hour, and we could even see it up to 50 miles per hour. But the good news is it will not last for long. That upper air disturbance is already trying to make an exit, so as we go into the overnight hours and head into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, we should see those winds in better shape. And then as we progress into the afternoon hours, still holding with those wind gusts in the teens, with a few occasionals going back into the 20 to 30 mile per hour range, especially off of the Cascades there from Ellensburg down southward towards Yakima. Now, another thing that I want to bring up is the aurora forecast. We had a big talker on Friday night with a once-in-a-lifetime event, really, if you look down to it, a G5 geomagnetic storm. We have not had one of those forecasts since 2003 in Verify, so that's been quite a ways ago. So we're looking at not that extent tonight. We're still seeing some active corona mass ejections from the sun, but you can see that no effect line to the south. We're right on the edge of it. So if you can, look to the north, right on the horizon. There may be a chance to see a little bit with a long exposure camera. But that was almost 30 years ago if you think about it. Let's say 20 years. I might be fudging that just a little bit, but that'll be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Tonight. Speaking of that, temperatures will be in the upper 40s to lower 50s there, and then for tomorrow, those temperatures climbing back into the 80s. Your 7-day planning forecast shows even warmer Wednesday and Thursday. We could be flirting with near 90 again in the Tri-Cities, but back into the 70s everywhere as we go into this weekend with a few more clouds mixed in as well.
Thanks, Hayden. And up next on Apple Valley News Now, we've been talking about the new steps to protect airline passengers. Now the airlines are suing. That's next.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
Life can be hard. With Culligan, your water doesn't have to be.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
Vegas action is closer than you think. The fun is waiting for you at Nob Hill Casino. Come in and pull up a chair at your choice of blackjack, pai gow, heads up hold'em, or high card flush, and play with the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club to take your game to the next level and earn rewards for food, bowling, prizes, and cash. There's always a spot for you at Nob Hill Casino, where the locals play.
Your best days of the year start here at Kubota Orange Days. It's the year's biggest selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. Plus the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. Orange goes all day. Sales ending soon. Visit your local dealer today.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at gokubota.com.
Loving a pizza, Tony's Big Cheese Pizza. Loving a pizza, I've been loving a pizza. Tony's Big Cheese Pizza. And Yakima's whole.
How about a pizza from Tony's Big Cheese for dinner tonight?
And with some amazing cheese bread. And yummy chicken wings. I want that way.
When you want lunch or dinner the delicious, easy way, come to Yakima's Hometown Pizzeria.
We can't wait to see you at Tony's Big Cheese Pizza in the Safeway Plaza at 24th and Nob Hill.
Something is weird. Look around. All possible Triple Play customers are perfectly represented right now.
Wait, really?
There's the family, The group of adult friends, kids on their school trip.
And the first date couple, and the grandparents with their grandkids.
It's just too perfect. I knew it. They're shooting a commercial.
I thought we were better than that.
Triple Play has fun attractions for everyone, including go-karts, mini golf, and many more, all attached to a cozy hotel.
We just thought...
If it's hidden, you might get bitten.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
Visit Cougar Bay Preserve on Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
Welcome back. We've been talking about the Biden administration's efforts to protect airline travelers with new bans on certain fees and forcing refunds in the case of long delays. But now airlines are suing, saying the Department of Transportation went too far with its rule requiring airlines to disclose all their fees, potentially including what the Biden administration refers to as junk fees. Airlines for America, which lobbies for the airline industry, says the requirement will make it more complicated to buy an airline ticket. All right, we're back with one final look at your forecast right after this.
We wondered, where do people do their banking? So we asked.
I bank at Hapo.
Hapo's my bank. I've been a member of Hapo since I was 10 years old, 60 years.
I bank at Hapo Community Credit Union.
I'm with Hapo.
You're not just a number there. You know, you're treated really well.
I feel like they're part of my community.
It's easy, it's convenient, and I don't know, I just love the people there.
I guess the question we should be asking is, where do you credit union? Join Hapo Community Credit Union today.
Make your first move with battery power made by Steel. Right now, save $50 on select Steel battery trimmers. Real Steel. Find yours.
Welcome to Beaver Valley Lodge, your rustic lodging and event venue in the beautiful Leavenworth, Washington. Experience the great outdoors and enjoy the beauty of the mountains as you stay with us on our 50 acres in the Cascade Foothills. Whether you're joining us for a wedding, retreat, vacation, or family reunion, we're here to make your stay unforgettable. We make it our goal for you to come as a guest, but leave as a friend. Book your stay today at beavervalleylodge.com.
Hey, Dad, look.
Us.
This is the magma chamber.
This isn't us, is it? When did we get so connected to our devices and so disconnected from each other?
She's not answering.
What? And when our phones have turned us into this,
LT,
what do you do when you're a company that sells them?
We gotta fix this.
It's time to find what we're missing. Join us in taking a break from our devices. Take the phones down for 5 challenge for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes.
Feels good.
And let's find us again. U.S. Cellular. Built for us.
Hi, this is Paul Wood at Woods Nursery. These are our arborvitaes for this season. We're running a special on them. They're 67 footers. They're $89.95 while they last. We've got fountains too, over 60 of them to choose from. Flowering trees. We have 5 acres of nursery stock. It's absolutely full this year. And we'd love to see you come out and join us. And we appreciate your business for over 50 years, Woods Nursery.
When it comes to legal matters, you need someone you can trust. At Morphine Law Firm, we are sincerely grateful for the last 5 years of trust and support you've given our firm. Your trust and support have been a major driving force behind our mission for justice. We offer free consultations, and we may not always tell you what you want to hear, but we try to steer you in the right direction. We appreciate your continued trust and confidence in Morphine Law Firm.
Jessica Jalor, Good Morning Northwest. Weekday mornings from 5 to 7.
Welcome back. Let's send it back out to Hayden Nix for a final look at your forecast.
Just a reminder, winds will ease up as we continue on into the overnight hours. Then we're going to be more focused on the warmer weather coming back. Mid to upper 80s for the Tri-Cities Wednesday and Thursday. That ridge of high pressure will be impacting everybody area-wide, with upper 80s expected for most locations, with some mid-80s, especially towards Walla Walla. And it will not last forever. We are expecting that ridge to begin to break down as we go into the weekend, with temperatures in the 70s. We'll go with 70s early next week.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back at 11.